So we're going to touch on T.I. and Tiny, and we're going to blend it up a little bit, give you our perspective on what's going on. So T.I., rapper T.I. and his wife Tiny, former singer of the girl group Escape back in the 90s, have been accused by 11 different women of sexual assault or rape. And these women range from military veterans to exotic dancers to teenagers. So they're coming from all walks of life. And
Mm-hmm.
and they're being represented by the same attorney who says that none of these women know each other, and all of them have been assaulted by T.I. and Tiny in either California or Georgia. And he's asking for the district attorneys or state attorneys, I'm not sure how that works, in each of these states to actually file charges. So I wanted to read part of the New York Times investigation. The New York Times spoke to 5 of these accusers. And I just want to read a paragraph and then we can actually speak about it more. So the New York Times has spoken with 5 people who were drugged, raped, or sexually assaulted by the Harris or those in their orbit, along with multiple individuals, including friends or family members, who said they were told of those episodes soon after, often within days of it actually occurring. In 3 of the cases, the Times also reviewed messages or photos that supported their timelines of events. In interviews, the women portrayed the rapper and his wife as aggressors who deployed drugs, alcohol, money, and their celebrity status to prey on and entrap women for sexual abuse, and then threatened violence against anyone who might speak out. The veteran, the military veteran, who is one of the accusers, who served 5 years in the Air Force, said she met the couple in Los Angeles in 2005. She and a friend had been whisked into the VIP section of a club where the pair, not yet married, were holding court. The military veteran recalled in an interview. Miss Harris soon offered the woman a taste of her drink, and they tried it, she said. The veteran had also ordered 1 drink from the VIP bar. She said an Amaretto sour, her standard cocktail, and the only other thing she had knowingly consumed that night. Within hours, the 2 friends were sick, woozy, and vomiting, they both said in separate interviews. The military veteran, who spoke on the condition of anonymity to protect her family, came to believe that she had been drugged. Once she became incapacitated, she said T.I. and Miss Harris then raped her in a hotel room. The veteran's friend said in a separate interview that she had observed the women leave the club with T.I. and Miss Harris and recalled hearing details of the encounter the next morning as they drove home in shock. For the veteran, who was 23 at the time, it was a life-altering trauma, she said. All right, so this is kind of typical, Bill Cosby-esque, we're gonna like spike the punch type of entanglement. But what I think is shocking is that
Yes.
Tiny is supposedly the ring leader, and evidently, according to this, they have been doing this even before they were married.
Yes, according to that would be the case. Yes. Yes.
So what is the mentality of a woman who participates in this type of behavior, in this type of sexual predation?
Well, I think the idea or the question becomes whether or not a woman can be a predator.
Mm-hmm.
There are natural laws that we can refer to in which we can kind of discuss whether or not that may be an idea that perpetuates or has regular occurrence in human aspects. So if we talk about, for instance, lions and how the females of the pride hunt and take their prey often, in which they feast upon, including the male lions.
That's interesting.
And the male lions are often seen as the protector.
Yeah, that's an interesting comparison, that the females actually do all of the work. Interesting.
So in this case with Tiny and Ti, he's obviously, because of the focus mainly being on him, or him garnering more of the attention. I'm not sure whether or not it's because of him being relevant in popular or current events in popular culture, whereas she was more popular during her escape years, which I believe were in the early 90s. Even though they had dealings then, before they became husband and wife, there could be something to be said about him being one of the kings of the South, if not the king of the South in trap music, and her being a popular R&B uh, uh, symbol with regards to her celebrity in a girl group band, Escape, and how their inner workings in the celebrity entertainment industry, or just the entertainment industry, makes them more of a candidate to be part of the predator and prey scenario in which we're speaking of now.
A lot of people assume that they're meeting these girls in a club, and they're, basically letting it be known, hey, we want to have a threesome with you. But in some cases, these girls don't know what they're getting into. They think that some of these girls are being lured online, Instagram or Facebook, so they're claiming, and being told, that they're interested in their talents. And so that's a whole different situation. I think that if you know that you're going into a sexual situation, then you're forewarned what's getting ready to happen. At least you know that something sexual is getting ready to happen. But if you think you're coming because someone has heard you sing on Instagram, and they're in love with your talent, it's a whole nother level of entrapment that takes place that we have to talk about. In fact, that Tiny is a woman makes it even harder to resist, because there's no reason why you would not trust her.
Yes, and this goes back to the idea of them being in the part of the entertainment industry that would elicit this type of behavior more often, more frequently than other aspects of the entertainment industry. We're not talking about gospel music here, whereas there would be a shock if there was some type of misstep in terms of their behavior or character defect or flaw, which would allow them to continue to perpetuate this type of behavior or allow for it to enter into their relationships. We're talking about trap music, trap music's superstar, and who has put a lot of his stock, so to speak, into popular culture and hip hop culture, with the particular emphasis being in trap music. So it's interesting that you do use the words entrapment and the way that they go about keeping it real in certain respects, even though it doesn't include being a sexual trafficker or a rapist, but it may include having some type of incentive for setting up and following through with particular types of conditioning or conditions.
But we don't want to get
in this
the whole idea that because someone is a rapper that they're automatically violent. And trap music is really about dope dealing, not even prostitution, or and then if you look at Tiny's music wasn't about any of that. Yet she's supposedly.
But we're not talking about prostitution.
Right.
We're not talking about prostitution. We're talking about the industry and the genre in which they're not in gospel music. This is not gospel music. This is a specific form of hip hop, which relies heavily on the lifestyle and the life branding that comes along with the lyrics that are infused into the
Okay.
music. That's
Okay.
what we're
So,
talking about. So
so
that's what I mean by quote unquote keeping it
Tiny's music
in
wasn't
that.
about any of that at all. But keeping with the whole image, Ti and Tiny have had a show on for years about being a family and being a proud Black family. And Ti famously said that he has his teenage daughter inspected by the doctor every year to make sure she's still a virgin. So this is
Well, one
a
thing that,
very, very protective father.
yes, what may be good for the goose is not always good for the gander. And so this may go with regards to, he knows what that lifestyle is like. And in many respects, with all of his children, or at least the ones that he uh, had starring or being focused upon in the show, he didn't advocate them doing what he did. He advocated more in doing what he said. That doesn't include inside the bedroom.
Yes, absolutely. So I mean that's one thing to absolutely consider. Like even with if it was gospel music, going to that point, you still you never know what someone is capable of. I mean, we saw that with the whole Catholic priest scandal. I mean, these were priests and they were sexual predators. So I think that labeling anyone based on the type of music that they do is wrong because it doesn't help tell you anything about their character. It only tells you about their talent.
The reason why I'm bringing up his background in regards to his criminal conviction is because it's relevant in regards to whether or not he is inmate at any given point, or a previous inmate versus a convict or a con, someone who has the mentality of a criminal.
Mm-hmm.
And will do criminal things. So it's not to say that he necessarily did this specific criminal things, but he does have a past of that, where Tiny supported him as a faithful partner, not necessarily his wife at all points in time, but did support him.
Yeah, a
A
double
double
life.
life.
So people do. It's harder for us to see someone that, as a sexual predator when they have children of their own because they're like, how could they hurt other people's children when they have children? Um, but people hurt other people's kids all the time, but don't necessarily hurt their own. So
Exactly. So is this used as a cover to their predatory leanings or predatory uh, behaviors, professional lives, because they're often commingling.
well, thanks for tuning in to this episode of The Blend. And please make sure you leave a comment down below and tell us what you think of this whole situation. Do you think that Ti and Tiny are being set up? Or do you think that they have participated in rape and sexual assault? And make sure that you subscribe if you aren't subscribed already.